Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So you're thinking about going to regenesiscodex.com and getting yourself a copy of the ebook number 103. This is what you'll find if you do so. It'll open up as a PDF, or you can download the PDF into your device. So let's get a look at what's here. This is the front cover. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the table of contents and review this table of contents. Table of contents, page 4, the flower of life egg formation. That's some graphics that you can look at. And then you have the flower of life graph, more graphics, egg of life and flower of life graph, more graphics, first cursive writing system, more graphics. Uh, then I have a list of the different Hebrew letters that were originally pictographs, and all these pictographs are in the flower of life graph or flower of life pattern, beginning with Aleph. And as the Hebrew letters are, so are these the same order. And it starts with Aleph. You have Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pei, Tasade, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Tav, and Gayin. Now, Gayin, that one is not used today. It's an older pictograph, an older letter, and it's something that's not used today. But I included that in when I created what was called the Saturn pattern, which is back on the cover. This formation of 23 hexagons. And as you go through the book, you'll see how I utilize this pattern, which is consisting of the flower of life pattern. It's all flower of life pattern. And you'll get to see as you go through the graphics of the different pictures, which are also considered letters today, of how they fit in the flower of life graph and how they were used as a cursive writing system or could have been used as a cursive writing system. Most likely very limited to the very select of that day, even knowing that they were in the flower of life symbol. The scribes, the way that they drew the letters, also will fit into the flower of life pattern. So there was some knowledge of it, but not necessarily knowledge on a widespread manner of how the pictographs would also fit in there. And they also had come from different pictographs that were a combination of two pictographs. But these things you'll learn as you go through the book. So I'll continue on here. The next part of the book is on page 32, the Land of Mu cosmogonic diagram. You'll also get to see an image of that. The cosmogonic diagram cipher. As above, so below cipher. Emerald tablet of Hermes connection. I'll show you the connection to the emerald tablets of Hermes Trismegistus. As above, so below cipher translation, where I actually translate the pictographs that are in the Saturn pattern when they're in their combined state. Because when they're in the combined state, where two pictographs are combined together, which are opposite of one another, with the middle in the middle. So as you go around the Saturn pattern, they're combined, and what ends up happening is there's a brand new picture, but the same brand new pictures are in the bottom half and the top half, respectively. So you can take it as a positive and a negative meaning of translation, and that's what I did in that section. I did those translations and described what I believe it meant. And then I have the King James version, John chapter 16 in there, I thought was important to show at that time. Ancient Hebrew pictograph chart, where you can get a look at that image. Uh, then Read Genesis Codex Key to Truth. That's chapter 1 of what I call Read Genesis Codex, because it's the first chapter of Genesis that is retranslated using the ancient pictograph language, where each picture denotes a word. And in actuality, the words were originally phrases before they were words. So at the time of Babylon, where the ancient language was confused, where it was unified amongst all the people, but then it was confused by the religious leader, divided up the groups into different religions, and they went off on their own direction. This shows you what it was in the beginning. Now, this type of translation is being demonized on the internet, especially YouTube. So-called scholars are using it. People with PhDs are using it and claiming that it's wrong and it's no good, it's dangerous, and they're saying all kinds of things like that. Well, let's put it this way. No different than the Bible, where people take the English translations that they get out of whichever translation that they use. There are many, many translations of the English language of the Bible, and they vary. Nonetheless, it's the translators that put those together who are responsible for the end product, just like I'm responsible for the end product of Regenesis Codex. Now, I'm just a human being. I make mistakes, and I've been working on this for 12 years to refine it to the best of my ability. And I will continue refining if I believe that that's what needs to be done, that it has to be continually refined in order to get to the truth. This is all about seeking out the truth, people. You know, there's a saying, the truth will set you free. You know, there's a reason why that was said. And what is the truth? Well, that's what we're trying to get at here. That's what I'm trying to get at, and I'm wishing to share it with people, and hopefully they understand. I think there's something to be learned that is very important, not just for the individual person, but for our world. Our world is in as much trouble as it was in the ancient times. And what I show you in Regenesis Codex, particularly chapter 1, shows you the construction of society, more specifically, a slave society. Not the creation of the physical earth, the planet Earth. That's not what it's about. That's the symbolism of it. That's the parable. That's the new language that was created at the time of Babel to divide people. I'm bringing it back to show what it was that they were doing, which divided people. So you really actually know what it was that was at play. Now, if you really look at it, what you can end up discovering is these are all Egyptian religions that came out of Egypt and went up into the Levant, known as the land of Canaan. But it didn't go up there at the time that Moses went up there. It started long ago, and the Levant was filled with vassal states, groups that had their own names, but they all paid tribute to Egypt. And they contacted Egypt. There are letters known as the Amarna letters that serve as evidence that this had occurred in that region. And then at the time that Moses went up there, what Moses was doing was bringing a group of slaves, which consisted of slaves that worked, that did labor. It consisted of criminals, the worst criminals of society they sent up into the Levant to do this. This is what happens today with colonization also. Other countries send into other lands They're worse criminals. They're slaves that are loyal, so are supposed to be loyal to their country, even though the story of Moses and the Exodus isn't supposed to be about a loyalty, because that never came through in the translations. That is not the way that they wanted to translate it and give it out to the public, because they did not want the public to recognize that what is going on is all Egyptian, 100% Egyptian control. And they obviously didn't trust their vassal states. Their vassal states were probably cheating them out of what it is that they were supposed to pay to them. And they sent a group up into the Levant in order to set up their own small slave societies, which were agricultural slave societies. In the modern context, those societies or those groups or those forts or those communes are called kibbutz. And that's how Palestine was invaded by the modern Israel, the same way that the Levant was invaded in creating an ancient Israel. And an ancient Israel was the same. It was just a cult. It was never as big as the modern Israel is today. It was a cult amongst cults. It was villages. It was tribes. But just because you look at a map and it says this area is the tribe of Judah, doesn't mean that Judah controls that entire area, because Egypt did through vassal states. But they were trying to gain more of a control to get more of a profit by having direct control instead of indirect control. So those were like jurisdictions, no different than you see the Jehovah's Witnesses today. They have groups amongst the entire United States and every state of the nation. Would it be fair to put on a map and show every state of the nation? Jehovah's Witness, Jehovah's Witness, Jehovah's Witness, Kingdom Hall, Kingdom Hall, Kingdom Hall, that they are the nation of the Jehovah's Witness? Well, that wouldn't be very honest in saying that. Now, using semantics, which is the reason, or I should say, the way the word semantics come about is due to Semitics, which were the people of the Middle East, and the dishonesty of them, where they use words, they corrupt words, and they use them in one manner when they actually mean another manner. So, to say the nation of the Jehovah's Witness, well, they started in the United States, so that's their nation. But that doesn't mean they own the nation or they control the nation. So that's what people really have to understand, and that's what I'm really trying to show people, and I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to gather up as much information as possible. I'm trying to, put it in writing the best way that I can to try to communicate to individuals, and I'm always studying. I'm always studying. I have a new book coming. It's the complete works of Josephus. Josephus was there in Jerusalem during the time of the temple destruction, and I'm going to show you the connections. I'm going to show you the Jesus connections, and one of the reasons why I'm getting the Josephus book is because I have read that he has 20 Jesuses listed in that book. I know one of them he has listed Jesus the Christ. I know another one he has listed Jesus Gamla, which Jesus Gamla is Jesus, son of Gamaliel, and Gamaliel was the head of the Sanhedrin during that time. So, even though it was Jesus ben Gamaliel, it comes across as Joshua ben Gamla in some writings, because the languages get confused depending on what groups are doing the writings and their understanding and their logic and the way they use the language. So there's a lot to sort through. And when a person goes back and tries to sort back through thousands of years of this occurring, now think about it, the The Tower of the Babel story, I'm not even positive how many years ago it was, but it had to be 4,000 years ago plus. That's what I think it is. I could be off a little bit. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't think it's really important. A lot of people, they take those details, and I've had that done to me, and I make mistakes too. And I've had them point out, you're wrong, you're wrong. See, look at this detail, that's wrong. Yeah, you're right, it's wrong. Thank you. I should correct it and make it right. But it really wasn't that important of a detail. But they hold on that and they try to make it look like what I'm saying is misleading people. And I am not trying to mislead people. I'm trying to find the truth because the truth will set us all free. And that's what Jesus was doing. And I think it's right if somebody's going to claim to be a follower of Jesus is to try to do the best they can in what he did. And what he was really doing was trying to bring truth to people to set them free. Thank you. And I'm going to make other videos and try to make better videos. I tend to run sideways when I start talking, and I apologize for that, but I'm doing the best I can. Thank you.